So welcome to the next video called Your Daily Workflow. I'm going to be exactly explaining how the daily workflow works, also what kind of tasks you need to do on what day, how long you should do these tasks, how this all works. So let's get straight into it. So as you can see on Monday, we have posting times, right? You choose the posting times of between 9 a.m., 3 p.m. and 9 p.m. You can choose 9 a.m. if you want to, you can choose 3 p.m. if you want to, and 9 p.m. The beginning of your page, it's super important that you spread this out just because your audience isn't like nurtured and there yet, right? You don't have a lot of followers. So in that way, you need to spread it out to be able to reach as many people as you possibly can, right? So the goal with the posting is if you, for example, post once a day, either do it at 3 p.m. or 9 p.m. If you post 2 times a day, you can basically shift it around 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. There should be 6 hours in between the next post, just because you want to keep the followers active and engaged on your content. Then engage with people and reply to DMs. So basically the growth side of things. Spread this out over the day. So 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the afternoon, and 15 minutes in the evening. This will help you to not get action blocked at the beginning of your page because your page is new. So what happens with a new page is that Instagram basically flags your page, as I mentioned before, flags your page, and if you take too many actions, you will be completely action blocked. So it's very important that you do understand this, because you want to spread this out throughout the day. It's not like you're going to be doing this for 45 minutes straight in the morning, 45 minutes in the afternoon, etc. The older your account gets, the more and more you can engage. So it's super important and really simple to actually understand this. So with engaging, what I basically mean is commenting under other people's posts, right? Or liking other people's comments, going to their page, giving their content a few likes, like little things like that, to literally just be able to engage with them and attract them to your page. That's the initial goal with engagement. Then also reply to your DMs, right? So replying to your DMs might not seem as a super growth strategy, but basically what happens is if you, for example, don't reply to your DMs, what happens is Instagram will see you're basically saying to Instagram, hey Alex, or hey, my name is Alex, I don't respond to my DMs, so I am not active, right? So basically what you're saying is that you don't want to be active on your page, which doesn't really make sense, right? Because you don't respond to the DMs. So it's super important that you clear these out every single day. Then you have an optional route that you can go for with work on business, right? 15 minutes on finding content on TikTok, Instagram, etc. And finding content, I mean devoting 15 minutes of your time specifically towards finding content. It's so important that you do structure this out throughout your day, that you just specifically focus on that task. It's so important that you just focus, because from there you get distracted by all sorts of shit, right? You have to really focus. If you really want to build this business, it comes down to doing this and focusing purely on one task, because otherwise you're going to be distracted by all sorts, right? Oh, Kylie Jenner just got a new lip filler. You know, like you're going to get all over the place on social media. What happens with 9 out of 10 people? So then 15 minutes of scheduling of the content, right? You actually have to schedule the content in on Instagram. If you don't have the option available within your advanced settings below the reels, then what you can basically do is you can schedule the content by saving it as a draft and then putting a timer or alarm at, for example, 9 a.m., 3 p.m. or 9 p.m. Then go to Instagram, press share, and then just wait for it to load. When it's loaded, refresh it, and then it gets posted, right? So don't close the app before. Then also 15 minutes of reflecting on your page. Super important that you do structure this in. I structured out your entire week here, what you need to do every single day to be able to actually grow your page really big, and also your business in general, right? Because as you can see, we're going to work on your offer, sales, learning, scheduling content, finance, team, right? So I'm going to be showing you how you can actually build this business up and not just spend time on making and managing your page. So from there, what you need to do with reflecting on your page, you need to ask yourself questions of what can I do better, etc. We're going to discuss this more later here, and I'm going to explain it a bit more in depth. But here, I'm just going to give you a brief rundown. So you have 15 minutes of reflecting, 15 minutes of sales, then same thing as the day after, right? Then working on the business, right? So 15 minutes of learning, this can be anything, but also 15 minutes of devoting to learn, right? Like don't spread your tasks out and spread your focus out. Just devote 15 minutes of your time to one thing. Please just do, and you will see tremendous results. And typically what I did this in the morning. You can also actually go to the bonus lesson we have in this module and consume everything there. It's an hour-long video and it's super valuable. It's all about understanding how you can actually increase your performance and output throughout the day. Like, I personally wake up at 6 a.m. right now. A week ago, I couldn't, man. I've never been able to wake up at 6, and I just crush my work in the morning. From 6 a.m. till 12 or 1 p.m., I just work straight line, right? I don't eat anything, drink anything. I just work, 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 work. I specifically line out all my tasks that I need to do for each period of that time period, right? And I get so much done, like literally. And it's a very powerful concept. And I'm going to explain, like, in the performance module, how this all works, how you can optimize everything, your morning routine, evening routine, your surroundings, like everything, to be able to actually sleep really, really good. So typically the main misunderstanding here is that people, for example, sleep for 8 hours. They lie in bed for like 9 p.m. till, let's say, 12, or they, let's say, lie in bed from, I don't know, 11 p.m. till 7 a.m. They get 8 hours of sleep. Well, they don't. Typically it's between 5 to 6, because the sleep quality is just shit. So coming back to the your daily workflow, you spend also 50 minutes of your time building your offer here, 50 minutes on sales. So this could be sending messages, outbounding, doing interviews, whatever it is. Then finding content again, scheduling content, and then 50 minutes of sales. You see that we don't find and schedule content here because you already did it on Monday. Same thing with Wednesday, you already did it here. Sorry, and here you can do it again as well if you want to, and then here as well again. But typically you don't have to do this every single day. So you can also schedule out for multiple days if you want to collect more content in one go. But typically you want to be on quality and not quantity. So that's why I did put it in on Monday, on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and on Sunday as well. So it's really important that you do, like, structure it like this. Then from there, 50 minutes of sales, again, your offer, learning on sales. Then every single day there should be 50 minutes on sales, except on Sunday. Typically on Sunday there are not too many people active, so you can send messages if you want to and change this routine around if you want to. But typically this is basically the structure that has worked for my clients a lot as well, because selling is the most important part, right? You're building a business, and of course you're building a page as well, but you do have to generate revenue for the time you spend on this, right? So then from here we have schedule content, reflect on page again, right? Reflect, understand what you can do better to be able to grow your page, and really ask the question of why. Then everything stays the same with posting, but also with your engagement, etc. You can't, or you don't want to like change up your posting time throughout the week. Just stick to one posting time. You can also, a little trick for this is you can, for example, do like 2:30 or 2:30 p.m. for example. If you know that your followers are active at 3 p.m., like do that half an hour before the whole curve basically. And a lot of people post at 3 p.m., right? So a lot of people structure their post in at a specific rounded off time, so not like 2:55 p.m., right? No one does that, so you can do that to like not be in that flow of content that gets pushed on the platform. Little trick to get like more views and more engagement on your post. Then right here we have your offer, finance, and team, right? So track your finances every single week. It can be personal, but it can also be business related. And then make sure to track also your team, track everything that you have in here with building your team, have a possible, like, track what kind of output they have, track what they do, etc. And then from there you can also already go to Sunday, which is find content, schedule content, and also learning. You can also change out the times if you want to, do more or less, but this is a typical workflow. It takes around 1 hour 45 minutes every single day, and that's like the maximum, and sometimes 1.5 hours per day. But the main thing for this is it's spread out through the day, right? This is something you can do in one go if you want to. You can also, for example, structure this out in the morning and then this out in the evening, and then this should be like non-negotiable. Like, this is the most important part, because without the engagement, your page is not going to get traffic, it's not going to get eyeballs to your page, which also means it's not going to grow, right? Then time spent per week working on the business, right? So this part, working on the business, which is a variable, right? You can change this for yourself if you want to as well. The total time spent for this is 11 hours and 15 minutes. And then time spent per week wasting time on social media on average. I searched up like a thing on internet about this, and I know that this is so big. There are so many different people saying like it's 3 hours, 4 hours. For some people it's even 5 hours per day just scrolling mindlessly on social media. So the average internet user spends 2.5 hours daily on social media in 2022. Obviously, we're in 2023 right now, but I don't think it really got better. So that would count up to 17.5 hours, right? So you're still saving 6 hours and 15 minutes right here. So it's really, really important that you do understand and change your perspective from what you currently have done to what you want to do right now, because like not having time is just an excuse for not doing it, man, truly. So working on business topic explanation, right? Finding content. Finding content basically means that you go out on social media with a targeted action in mind. Finding content. You can follow the VRSA system explained in this YouTube video. Super powerful strategy. I developed it myself. I thought of the whole system, I mapped it all out, and our clients get a more in-depth overview of this. But this video basically goes over a lot. So basically, this system shows you exactly how to find content, what things to look at, and why certain pieces of content work better than others. Then virality, or the V stands for virality, how viral a piece of content is, right, based on statistics, likes, comments, shares, views, etc., saves. And then you have to compare those statistics against each other as well. Recency, how recent this piece of content is, the more recent the better. Then style, the style of this piece of content, black and white quotes, X, Y, and Z backgrounds, etc. The style really depends on your account, what type of content works for your account, etc. Then account itself, the size of the account you get the content from. The larger, the better virality it should have, right? So the larger an account is, the more viral it should go before you choose it, right? It isn't the case that the bigger the account is, the better the content is, because it's actually opposite. The smaller the account is, the more viral it is, the better it is, right? Because how it works on Instagram is, and also on all the other social media platforms is, let's say I have 100,000 followers, right? Then I post something, it kind of gets pushed to 100,000 people first, and then from there, it gets pushed to other people, right? So let's say I already have 100,000 followers, then you can kind of take off 100,000 views off of that video, because it's like standard, right? Let's say every single follower of me would consume that video, I would already automatically have 100,000 views, which allows me to grow even quicker, right? So it's super, super important to understand here that this system comes down to the smaller the account, the more viral it is, because they don't have any initial followers, right? So if they have like a couple of thousands, it's way more viral than a piece of content and a page of millions of followers, right? Like, it doesn't make sense. It's the same thing as taking a piece of content from Messi, who has like hundreds of millions of followers, right? And then posting it on your page, and then looking at the likes and being like, yeah, it works so good, man. So many likes, virality's high, boom, 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 boom. No, because the account is really, really big. So the bigger the account, the shitter the content. So you can find content on platforms like Instagram and TikTok to repost. You can use apps called Snaptic, right? You can also use apps like Musical Down. There's all sorts of apps and browsers you can search up, and internet websites, whatever, to copy paste a link from TikTok and remove the watermark. It's super important that you remove the watermark from TikTok videos, because Instagram doesn't like this. So schedule content. You can schedule content in a few ways on Instagram. First, collect the content. Make sure to have the caption you always use in a draft or post, or in your notes on your phone. Then copy paste the caption in after selecting the content you want to post. Some users have the option to schedule content by scrolling down to advanced settings while putting in the caption on the reel. If you do not have this available on your account yet, either try switching to a creator or business account by going to settings, account, scroll down, account type, and then switch to creator or business. My tip for everyone reading this is to do it in batch actions. What I mean by that is using one block of time, 15 to 60 minutes for one activity, and cutting out all distractions. When you're scheduling, you're scheduling. When you're finding content, you're finding content. When you're working on the business, you're working on the business. When I'm making this video, I'm making this video, right? I don't have my notifications on. I don't have any sound on. I have everything off, just my time for this video, right? Same thing for you. The more you can actually do this, and the more you can just put your phone away or turn off your notifications, turn off the sound, do gray screen on your phone, for example, the more you can do that, the more output you're going to have at the end of the day. So reflect on page. Reflecting your page is easy. All you have to do is go to a website called Social Blade. From there, type in your account, and if there are no stats showing, it will take a few days for them to appear. But do type in your username, right? The strategy goes as following. Use test phase. Each 1 to 2 weeks you can test a different metric, right? For example, posting at 9 a.m., posting at 3 p.m., using these and these hashtags, using this and this content, using more of that style, etc. You analyze the test phase by looking at the growth of the page and the average engagement of the post. If the posts you post recently get more views on average than the posts you posted before, you are growing regardless of how many followers you gain. So let's say I already have a standard amount of views. I had that for like a month of like 100 views on average for all the videos. Then suddenly it goes up to 200 views on average. Then I know my page is growing, right? So it's all based on looking at the stats you get and realizing that every single increase is a piece of growth. Even if you lose followers, I really don't give a shit. If it means that your followers or your views go up, it means that you're growing. Example of a test phase. I'm going to test out for 2 weeks posting at 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. CET time zone and using more of this style content, only taking content from TikTok or X type of pages, right? Wealth pages or this and these pages or whatever. I'm going to interact with people 10 to 15 minutes before posting to up early engagement on my post, right? To get more views and get more people to your content to then boost it up. With the reflection on your page, it is important that you always stay true to yourself and you don't give yourself mind masturbating thoughts to make yourself and your ego feel good. Be honest with yourself. It is also important that at the end of each reflection you have a few key takeaways you're going to change or implement, right? So what I mean is with mind masturbating is that you can't like say, oh yeah, I'm doing so good. Oh yeah, I got a viral video. Like always seek to improve. Always seek to improve. Even if you have 200k followers, a million, 2 followers, whatever it is, seek to improve and use these phases. Then sales. You can use this activity by performing SGA, sales generating activities. The definition of this term is looking at activities that generate sales and performing those. These activities can be DMing, responding to inbounds and sending outbounds, right? Responding to inbounds are messages that come to you, so inbound messages, right? People that send the first initial message to me. Sending outbounds is me sending the first initial message to them, right? Cold calling, email marketing, hopping on consulting or connecting calls for free, and following up. The connecting call and consulting calls work really, really well if you do structure this right, and obviously if you know what kind of pain points your target audience has, right? This also can be a moment where you look at different ways to make money from your page. Create a funnel, landing page, creating better marketing content, using different ways to generate link clicks or DMs, learning how human psychology works in sales and marketing. This can be a whole bunch of things, but you really have to understand that you have to devote X, Y, and Z actions to sales generating activities. For example, I'm going to spend 15 minutes every day, right, in the daily workflow on sending 20 outbounds for 15 minutes to my target audience, right, to try to get them to book a connecting call, try to get them to X, Y, and Z, right? So you really have to structure this in, and this is also what like the big entrepreneurs say. The small actions will lead you to the way and lead you to your goal, and not like the quick actions here and there that you would do randomly. Structured daily actions focused on one specific thing for X amount of time will get you to your goal. So finance, this topic can be used to look at your current financial situation personally as well as in business. Do you use software to create and track invoices? Through what software do you receive payments? How much cash collected that you do, right? How much revenue that you do, how much that you pay in fees. So cash collected and revenue is different because revenue is basically what you sold to the person, so a 2k package, and cash collected is what you actually receive, so 1k for example. How much fees that you have, how much that you pay in fees, right? Super important to track as well, to know if you should switch from payment processor, for example. And overall finances can also be used to look at your current financial situation, track your own finances, really like dial down where do you spend your money, where does your money go. It's so important to understand, because if I ask myself right now, where does my money go, I know it exactly, right? I know exactly where my money goes, but then for you it could be a bit random. Yeah, well, a bit of the grocery shopping, bit of this, bit of that, right? Make it structured, make it like you reflecting on that every single week to be able to really dial down on your finances. And don't overthink it, don't overstress it, just type in numbers on an Excel sheet, track it with giving it labels, what kind of to-dos. You can find all sorts of templates online to be able to track this. It's important to analyze and optimize this in your business, because you want to try to spend the least amount of time on each activity in your business and still increase or maintain the level of output you had. It's really important to know your numbers in every area. To measure is to know, right? Here are some links, resources to use to make your life easier. Copecard, Wise, PayPal, Stripe, Business Revolut, Upgrade Chat, Gumroad, ClickBank, Digistore24, ClickFunnels, and WordPress. These two are more for funnels and also for websites. Digistore and ClickBank are more so for selling your own affiliate marketing products or like partnering up with an affiliate marketing product. Then Gumroad is basically hosting your own digital products and services and then selling them on the landing page of them. Upgrade Chat is like for a paid community on Discord, for example. Business Revolut, Stripe, PayPal, and Wise are all payment processors. And then Copecard is also a payment processor, but also kind of like a middleman to host certain products or services on a website. And then from there, you can also incorporate taxes and all sorts of stuff. Sorry for the light, by the way, really annoying. But yeah, creating a team in your business is necessary to grow. If you rely purely on yourself or your community of like-minded people, you won't get to 10K a month. Having a team can fall back on trust, talk with, map out strategy, and brainstorm new ideas with the one thing number one company anyone can build. Quickly gonna close my curtains, by the way. So it's a bit darker, but it's fine. So yeah, basically creating a team in your business is necessary to grow. If you rely purely on yourself or your community of like-minded people, you won't make 10K a month. Having a team that you can fall back on, trust, talk with, map out strategies, and brainstorm new ideas with is the number one thing any company can build. For each aspect, there is a process needed: onboarding, pre-onboarding, interviews, gathering information, understanding them understanding the business and the processes you use. Your team won't perform if you don't communicate with them, educate them, create a structured, simple process to follow, set right expectations, and at the end of the day, your employees and you are in an agreement to work on the vision and mission the company have, right? You are also just an entity of the business. You are the same as them, but just have a different role in the business you are building together, right? It's all based on the business. If you don't understand this, if you truly make it all about yourself, one, you're super selfish, and two, you let your ego control the business, and three, you won't grow to more than 10K, 100K, a million a month, because it's the business that you want to grow. It's a long-term perspective and mission you have with that, and not necessarily you. So here are some team tools you can use. Airtable for tracking and process management. Trello, tracking and process management. This is also something you can use for your to-do list every day regarding if you have a team or not. Slack is for communication. Discord for communication. Telegram as well. Differences between those is Slack is more like Discord minus the roles. So in Discord you have roles to be able to give to people to have access to certain things, and Slack is just one big group with all mini groups in between as well. Then Telegram is just a text communication. It's kind of like a WhatsApp group. And then Notion is for resources and process and tracking. Miro is for process outlining with all kinds of like cool whiteboard stuff. Figma as well, Lucidchart as well, and then Google Drive is where you can store your resources and documents. So your offer, I would highly recommend. I would highly recommend everyone reading this to read the book $100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozi. This book will show you exactly what it takes to have a good or mediocre offer, and your offer usually consists out of a few pillars: your community, the value, and your support. So the most important thing to understand here is what you actually need to know if people want your offer, right? You might ask yourself, well, Alex, how do I know without selling? Give it away for free, right? This is a simple method to validate your offer in the marketplace by hosting interviews. By interviewing your target customers, you can ask them deeper questions about themselves for, in return, an asset or something valuable you will give them at the end, right? For example, I don't know, if you sell a crypto program, simple example. You give it away for free, but you host an interview. You say, hey, I want to host an interview with you, ask you a couple of questions, and give you a free consultation session, right? Don't position as an interview. Then from there, at the end of the interview, you give them the resource. You give them a program, you give them whatever you give them that is super valuable to them. A trading sheet or access to a private group or whatever. So yeah, this is something you can do. And then how do you host these interviews? You network with your followers, engage with them, DM them, say thank you, right? Thank you for following, thank you for engagement, whatever. And you dig out their pain point and offer to solve it with your free product or service. You can also hard pitch them. Even if your crypto product doesn't share mindset stuff, you can still share that your product basically solves that issue if it really does. What I mean with that is, if let's say your crypto product has a few mindset lessons, but it's all about crypto, completely fine, just share it, it's all based on what you give to them. Then here, example of a few pitches. that you can use for this. So message number 1, hey, I saw you follow my page. I wanted to say thank you. I've been pouring my heart and soul into this page and I'm glad that you like it. Then message 2, I did actually want to ask you something that I've been asking a selected group of followers as well. I've recently decided to start to open, to start X, right, to a group or whatever. And I'd be more than happy to do a free 15-minute consultation call with you, explaining how this could work for you completely for free, right? Would you be opposed to hopping on a 15-minute free consultation call tomorrow or the day after, right? You can have this tomorrow or the upcoming days. Give them like 2 options here. Super simple, but it's really important that you do understand that with pitching or with sales, keep it personal. Like really try to do this, because at the end of the day, we're all humans in the DMs, and not everyone can feel a pitch. Everyone can feel how it kind of works. So from there, this works really good, and that's why we also have like 2 smiley faces here, right, and have multiple messages and not just one hard pitch. So learning just comes down to understanding what you as a person and your business need most help with right now. According to those answers, you start your research, dive deep into one host of information per week: podcasts, YouTube videos, courses, ebooks, etc. By only learning or listening to one piece of information per week, you will fully consume it in the best way possible. Here are some other tools you can use to edit your videos and remove songs and of your videos. I'm also going to share a bunch of like clips and a bunch of drive folders, content, free templates, all in the community completely for free. So there's going to be like a whole bunch of shit dropped in the free resources channel for you guys just to copy paste and just to use for yourself, because at the end of the day, I don't really have a lot for it and I don't really care about it. So even though I paid for it, I'm willing to give it all away for free. So this is basically the lesson about your daily workflow. To quickly recap, we have the posting times, we have the engagement times, we have the work on the business times, we have the time you need to spend every day. Then we have all the topics that we explain, right, of working on the business. So all these topics I explained below are all topics that you can work on the business, right? So I hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to see you in the next module, and feel free to give feedback or to tell what you are going to do. Maybe share your daily workflow in the community, and I'll see you in the next video module.